Hey guys, Annie here, as always. Finally going to start my February 2016 Soap Club Challenge entry. It's the 13th of February right now, and I've been kind of slacking, but not only is everyone in my house sick right now, we also had like 3 different doctor's appointments to go to for Tesla because of her birthday, just everything, and it's been a very, very, very busy week, but I still have time. I'll explain a little bit about what I'm doing here. I've got my olive oil, my lye water, 3 different natural powders. I am doing the natural category. And then my essential oil blend right here is fir needle, rosemary, and a little bit of cedarwood. It smells amazing, like the forest. I really like it. I'm going to go ahead and get this blended up. My super fat I have here too. This is beeswax and some rice bran oil. Just because I'm almost out of my pumice oil, I'm using the extra virgin. It's going to be on the thinner side, but I need it to be thicker, so that's why I'm doing the beeswax as a super fat. That should help get it a little bit thicker, faster, hopefully. So let me get to blending. I'm going to go ahead and emulsify, add my super fat, add my fragrance, and then divide it into the 3 areas, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what my plan for this challenge is. Cord stuck on something. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm sitting down because my back is absolutely on fire right now, so forgive me for that awkwardness. All right, here we go. Okay, we're pretty well emulsified and blended in, and we're very fluid and workable still. But I do have to blend the powders in, so we don't want to get too thick. But I believe I've got quite a bit of working time here, so I'm not worried about that. Get my stick blender out of the way for now, and I'll separate my batter and talk about the plan for this soap. If you watched my immune boost soap video, I said that was what I had planned on doing for this challenge back before I knew sort of what was expected of us. I just knew winter was a theme, but I didn't know exactly, I didn't know about the snow aspect of it all yet. And now that I do, I had to come up with a different recipe, which I'm excited about. Separating my soap batter into these 3 different chunks. I gotta put a little bit more back in both of these. What I have also, I had to order these. That's half the reason it took so long. Little paper triangle cups. The goal with this soap, it is completely natural. And what I'm going for with it is I'm going to pour it into those little cups. I'm going to do with all these green colors here. Oops, I just punched my camera. Sorry about that. Right here we have powdered basil. That's going to provide 1 natural green color. Powdered rose. If you can't guess already, I'm going for a pine tree sort of look with these soaps. Once they're in their triangle paper mold, I'm hoping those work out okay. I have them in these cups to hold them upright. Some of the I ran out of red cups, of course. I'm not prepared. This is just the whole entire story of my week this week. I got 4 of them in cups here, and the other 4 in a box with some packaging to kind of hold them upright. I'm thinking I'm going to get maybe about 8, maybe 9 soaps out of this. I'm going to blend my colorants into each one, swirl them together, pour them into these paper cups so they look like trees. Once they're out of the paper cups, and it's just going to be a plain cone shape, I'm going to actually carve into them by hand to make them look more like trees. Once they are more tree-like, in my opinion, I'm going to then melt some beeswax and kind of drip beeswax onto them, and I'll sprinkle them with some sea salt so it looks like freshly snowed on trees. So I'm going to get going with that. I got a blend here. My stick blender, all my different powders. Again, my essential oil blend that I chose to use was fir needle essential oil with a little bit of rosemary and cedarwood. I did not dilute my powders because I had to do quite a bit of powders and I didn't want to overgo or do too much of a super fatting. But knowing that I'm going to be able to blend the heck out of this, being extra virgin olive oil, I'm not too worried about it. All right, blending time. Alright, we're all blended here. I have used basil powder in my caprese soap for a natural green color. It's a very earthy green, it's not real bright green or anything like that, and I've used rosemary powder in my Epic Beard Rugged soap, which it's a deeper green, but it's a pretty nice natural green, and I read that the alfalfa powder makes a really sort of brighter natural green, so I think that'll be great for my pine tree theme that I got going here. I'm just going to do kind of like an in-the-pot swirl. We're still workable and thin, but we're not too thick, obviously, and we're not so thin that it's going to possibly leak through my paper cups. We don't want that. I looked everywhere locally for these stupid paper cups. Chris just changed tattoo shops that he works at, and the one that used to work out had a water cooler with the paper cups. And I'm like, man, why couldn't this have done a week ago, and I could have just snagged 8 from there. I have 200 paper cups now, and I'm using maybe 8 or 9 of them. So that'll be interesting. That's okay. I figure I can maybe do ice cream cones for something in the future. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ideas of soaps that could be cone-shaped. So if you got any ideas, let me know. It'll work for this, and I figured, why not? Doing just a simple in the pot swirl. I just want the colors to be incorporated. And in the pot swirl is a pretty simple and basic way to achieve that, and I like it. The last of this in here. Smells good too. Now obviously these powders, I added a fair amount of each one. This is going to create some exfoliation in the actual bar of soap while you're using it. I think this would be a really great sort of kitchen soap. This piney, woodsy scent will be great from getting like onion or garlic odors off of your hands, and also really help to scrub grease off if you're working in the kitchen. I'm going to do a quick swirl with that. Very earthy greens right now. This looks like so much soap batter, and my little paper cups are supposed to hold 4 ounces. I'm wondering if that's going to hold true, but we will find out now. This may take 2 days to set up too, but I think the link up opens on the 7th, so I have 3 days before it opens, and then it's got another couple of days of staying open before I have to get it in. So I know I'm always the very first one to post everything, so probably won't be the first one this time, but I will not be the last. Alright, we're filling up my little paper cups here. This one's not perfectly straight, which means it's not going to be perfectly full. But I say to that, good enough. Push these out of the way. These are going to be smaller soaps, but that's okay. It smells really good. It smells like being in a wintry forest, that's for sure. I don't know that I'm going to see anything else quite like this, too, as far as entries go. I did see on Instagram, oh geez, I'm not even going to try to tell you where I saw it because I forget, and I'm just going to give credit where it is not due. Somebody had these amazing penguin embeds inside of this bar of soap, and there was a whole penguin in there, and they were so cute, and I was just blown away. I thought, wow, such a creative group of people that I get to be a part of with these soap challenges, and it's really fulfilling and cool to see what everybody else comes up with. I really love it. Alright, so there's my 4 in my solo cups that I have here. Oh man, I forgot to put my lab coat on and everything. I am not doing too hot today, guys. But we're on a deadline here. So here's my little makeshift cup holder that I've got here for these. I'm just going to try to fill them. I still have a lot of soap batter here. So I might end up with even more than I need to do. I might put it in a different mold though, just because I'm running out of options for these cups. Ooh, and we're sinking. Ooh. Please stay straight. Just don't tip over. Oh man. I'm freaking out. I'm out of packing peanuts too. Can you believe that? I use packing peanuts for my wholesale private label orders. So believe it or not, every peanut that I get with all anything that I've ever ordered, I recycle, and I'm actually out, which is crazy. I used to have an entire room filled with boxes filled with packing peanuts because I couldn't bring myself to throw them out. Now I don't have enough packing peanuts. So let's hope that this works. Oops. I'm afraid to do these other two, and I still have so much soap batter left, you guys. I knew I should have made a smaller batch. Well, I'm just gonna go for it. This one first. Boy, this one makes me nervous. I'm gonna put him here. Obviously, I'm gonna trim the bottoms so they're flat once I unmold them from their paper, but oh boy. Oops, much overflow. That's okay. I still have so much soap batter left. Let me show you. Almost 600 mils left. Let me slap that in my tall skinny mold because I don't know what they... We'll get 9 little trees though, which is plenty for the soap challenge. This is just very much way more than I needed. Way much more. Oh well. So these will just be bars for the sake of using up the rest. Ugh. Alright. So we'll let these guys chill maybe 2 days before I unmold them, but my plan is to take them out of their paper molds and kind of carve them on camera for you. I'm going to speed that up, of course, as it's going to be a pretty tedious process. Here's some in the cups here, just chilling. Yeah, probably be a day or two where I'm going to trim them up for you. I'll fast forward all of that as I'm taping it, obviously, but you get to watch my entire process, and I'll get to that for you guys right now. Thanks. Hey guys, it's Annie, and I'm back with my Winter Wonderland soap here. I've got one of my little cone trees carved up so it kind of looks more like a tree. It's probably not as cool as I was hoping they were going to look, but I still like them. I obviously did carve this one up to see A, if it was going to even work how I wanted it to, and B, to make sure it was ready to be cut into. Now, if it wasn't on a deadline, I would probably let these bad boys cure for probably 2 more weeks before I did any sort of carving, but we don't have that amount of time. The link up opens today, and I have to get to it because I've got a busy week. But there's a carved one. I've got 9 total little cones here. I did shave some of the bottoms off so they would land straight. But I wanted to carve one on camera here, and then what I'm going to do is melt up a little bit of beeswax. It's the white pastilles, so it's going to look like snow, hopefully. And then I'm going to hit it with some sea salt. This is actually just my kitchen sea salt grinder. It's plain sea salt, though. Like, there's nothing else in it, nothing weird. It is just natural sea salt. I'm going to use this because the only 2 other types of salt I have right now, they're both dead sea salt. Excuse me, my organic dead sea salt. It's a nice fine grain, but because it's organic and it isn't filtered, it's a gray color, which is not the color of snow that I'm going for. And my big hunks of dead sea salt, they're huge. They're way too big to look like snow. So we can't really get the look that I'm going for with those. And I also have pink Himalayan salt, but obviously that's not going to look like snow either. So I'm going to move some of these guys out of the way. I'm going to work on carving into one on camera, and then we'll hit them with some wax and sea salt. I've got my bucket of trimmings here. I'm putting all my little ends into. The swirls aren't super pronounced, and as you can see, it's a very natural green shade. We're not looking at any sort of bright Crayola greens. And you'll see too when I'm carving into it, it's like an avocado or an apple or something where it oxidizes. It'll be much lighter green in the middle where I'm cutting, but then as the air hits it, it darkens up to like the rest of it. So this is my little mica scooper spoon that I'm using. I'm carving in it with this end and even with this pointy end here, and also the end of my peeler. I'm just kind of going in right with it like that. So, alright, I'm probably going to do a fast forward through this part. But yeah, let's get to carving into these bad boys here. Okay guys, I got 5 of them carved for the sake of this video. I'm going to stop there. I'm trying to melt up my beeswax here. It takes forever in this microwave. But that's a melted enough. What I'm going to do, I've got my little pipette here. I'm just going to kind of like squirt it onto here as best as I can. Oh, and the little baby's awake. Hi, Peanut. I'll try to get a couple of these before she starts totally crying. Hi, baby. Oh, this is already firming up. I've actually got to microwave it again. I needed to melt it all the way, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I got some melted beeswax. The baby fell back asleep too, so I want just the ends of the beeswax. I don't want a whole tube full. I just kind of splattering, making a big mess here. That's why I have this tablecloth. Okay, I had to get some more wax and some more pipettes because it's cooling down way too fast on me. And I'm going to do more of a dribbling than the spray because that's actually showing up. We want it to show up, or else where's the snow in our winter wonderland? And then hit it with the salt while it's still kind of wet. Get that off the top. My pipettes are filling up with wax too, and then it's getting hard. Very tricky here. Keep everything melted. Kind of looks like snow, right guys? Oh. See, look how fast it firms up. I've got to start melting it again.
Okay, well I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Is this guy firm? Yeah. Let me give you a close up. They're kind of cute. I don't hate them. Of course, it's not as cool as it was in my head, but I'm starting to learn that that never happens. Not with me. There's one of my little happy winter trees. They smell very herbal and very much like a cool winter's forest. So, yep, there we go. I'm going to edit this super long video and get it posted in time for the soap challenge link up. It'll probably be tomorrow by the time I post it, but I'll get it going as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a great rest of winter. Hopefully it's not too much winter.